So something you may not know about me is that I'm a bartender. I work on the illustrious Billionaires Row. I've been doing it for over 4 years. And recently I had the privilege of being on the first inaugural New York Times' Martini Week, in which they showcase martinis throughout the city. But I've been doing one thing longer than bartending, and that's treating the Counter-Strike skin market like it's an asset class that actually matters. So what better way to combine those two worlds than make a skin as a cocktail? And that's why today, I'm going to take the infamous AWP Dragon Lore and turn it into a cocktail. What up? You're aware, this is Counter-Strike's magnum opus. It was released in 2014. It features this nice gold base. It's got these nice forest olive green highlights, and scattered throughout the skin there's some nice filigree and Celtic knotwork. And both its royal design and its extreme rarity in the game has created for one of the most sought after and rare skins in the history of Counter-Strike. A normal, shitty looking Dragon Lore battle scarred goes for $6 grand. And the top tier, souvenir, factory new ones, I've seen go as high as $600,000. So we have to capture kind of a few things in our cocktail. It's on and off, so I think it's got to be hard hitting. It's got to be pretty boozy. It takes place on Cobblestone, which is a map set in France. The color scheme, the knotwork, I think it all lends to a royal type of theme. So we should go for more upscale ingredients. Now I'm taking you guys along for the ride, so you also need to know how to make a good cocktail. At its bare bones, basically, it's on a fucking AWP. Hard hitting, powerful, best gun in the game. I'm thinking it should be pretty spirit forward. The map, Cobblestone, according to the lore, takes place in France. Now luckily for us, the French are alcoholics, so we have a ton of subject matter to grab from. The vibe, very much old money. Think of the colors, right? Dark green, gold, dark red. I'm definitely going to want to use some expensive ingredients. Lastly, flavor. Now, again, it's on an AWP, so I think it should be pretty boozy, pretty stiff. Again, we got that old money vibe, so I think we use some French champagne to sort of elevate it, give it some effervescence, make it feel like a luxurious cocktail. So off the bat, I immediately think we should use the French 75 as a base. This is a oldie cocktail that's, sort of seen a resurgence in the last couple of years. It is served in a champagne flute. Features 1.5 ounces of your spirit. The modern version uses gin. Little known fact, the actual French 75 originally used cognac, hence the name. I think cognac fits a little bit better for the vibe we're going with the Dragon Lore. Now this is a hotly debated topic, but this is just how I make mine. I go for 0.5 ounces of our citrus, lemon, 0.25 ounces of our simple syrup or sugar, and the rest of the flute is topped with champagne. Like we explored in our blueprint, the French 75 sort of deviates a little bit. It's a special cocktail. Cognac or brandy typically has a much sweeter flavor profile, so we don't need to put that much sugar in it. Now the half an ounce of lemon juice actually probably isn't going to balance this out. We'd probably need more 0.75 ounces if we were just making it with those three ingredients. But since we have champagne on top, champagne is very dry, it's going to cool down the sweetness that's in the rest of the drink, and it's mostly going to be champagne forward. Right? Cognac, champagne, those are very two high-class ingredients. I think we have our base for the Dragon Lore. Now all we have to do is sort of fuck with the ratios a little bit, the flavors, to make something that's our own. Non-negotiable, for it to be something that's based off of French 75, the champagne needs to be there. Our sugar is one of the easiest ingredients to manipulate, so we're going to introduce some medieval French flavors into the simple syrup. Right, just doing some quick research online, they use a lot of berries, they used fruits like apples and pears, a lot of herbs were like peppercorn, thyme. So I think with our syrup, we're going to infuse it with a couple of seasonal herbs, right? It's a little bit cooler out right now. Specifically thyme and peppercorn. Like steak, the sauce that you get with steak when you eat at a French restaurant typically uses a lot of thyme, and they use a lot of black peppercorn. So I think that fits real well with the vibe, and it really complements a lot of these flavors. Our lemon juice will also stay the same. Now because cognac is pretty sweet, and the rest of our ingredients are based off that fact, we're going to keep it the same, but we're going to use a specific type of brandy. It is called Calvados. It is a apple-based brandy, right? Apples, like we said, fit the vibe of medieval French royal shit like that. But I'm also going to add around, a quarter of an ounce, which is 15 milliliters, of a spiced pear puree. Right, all we have to do here is take some pears, they're in season right now, blend them up, fine strain out all those gritty bits, and then we will cook it down with some cloves, some cinnamon, some ginger. And because we're using such a little bit of an amount, it should only marginally make the drink sweeter, and it'll just give it more depth with all those herbs and seasonal flavors that we're introducing. So there you have it. There's our blueprint for the Dragon Lore cocktail. Now I'm in the gamer setup right now, but we are going to teleport to the Mike Water 9 DE_bar. Alright, welcome to the bar. Get it? Let me just change my skin real quick. Boom. Now remember, pants don't matter because we are floating torsos most of the time. So let's get started on the cocktail without further ado. Like a house, we must always start with our foundation. We will start with our base spirit, 1.5 ounces. Now I've been letting my syrup steep for a little while, so we should be pretty incorporated here. I used honey instead of regular sugar just to match the whole medieval French thing we got going on. And we're just gonna spoon in 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters for my boys in Europe. Since we're not at a bar right now, I just kind of let the thyme and peppercorn stay in here because I could shake it and then I could strain it out from the actual cocktail shaker. When you're at a bar, obviously you don't want to have to pick out all the little things because you're constantly moving. But at a home bar, you can leave the shit in. It just lets the flavor incorporate, gives it more depth over time. Finishing touches, our lemon juice. It's gonna be always better to use fresh squeezed lime juice or lemon juice, but they do have great bottled options out there. Just make sure it's not sour mix because sour mix has sugar in it already, whereas fresh pressed is just the lemon juice. Perfect. We're just about done, but like I said, we needed a little bit more fruit flavor. So I have my pear puree here, 1/4 ounce. Okay, so the hard part is done. The cocktail's in the shaker. All we gotta do is add some ice, shake it, and make it look nice. A lot of people talk about dilution and shit. They're nerds, don't listen to them. At the end of the day, it really isn't gonna make a difference for the average taster. Just make sure it is shaken at the very least. So we have our small part of our shaker. This is where I built my cocktail in. It's all in here right now with the ice. I got my large part right here. Now we just shake, that's it. It's very simple. Now typically you want to top the drink with champagne. However, I don't have another glass and I'm not going to get another glass. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. All right, we have about 4 ounces of champagne right here. And we're straining, making sure to push down on that strainer so that peppercorn gets in our drink. And there's our finished product. Obviously we're not gonna match the Dragon Lore's color perfectly. However, we got pretty close. Now what's our cocktail without a garnish? A French 75 and most cocktails often use a lemon peel because when you squeeze it, the oils from the skin come out. It doesn't look like it has a lot of flavor, but it actually changes the drink completely. You can turn a shit drink to a decent one with a spritz of the oil from the peel. So you take it, make sure the yellow side is facing outwards, and then you just squeeze. And we rub it all over the glass and on the stem a little bit, just so those oils get on your fingers. You know, you taste a lot with your nose as well. Now I took the peel and I cut it into like a little bit of a W shape so we can kind of leave it on the rim like that. And this is a pretty yellow cocktail. So I have a blueberry right here. Blueberry and lemon go very well together. And I don't have a toothpick, bear with me. But like, wouldn't that look good? Yep. I'm gonna keep you waiting. Cheers. Oh, damn. I would pay $6 grand for this, but the lemon and those nice seasonal herbs, they really balance out everything. And that pear being there is just amazing. Gives it a really nice autumn flavor. And it definitely has like a royal French type of feel. 100% make this. And no, I don't have a flute. That's why it's in this fucking dumb looking wine glass. And there you have it, folks. That's a Dragon Lore at home. Costs probably around $40 when you buy all the ingredients. But you can make 15 of them. And it's not $12,000 like the fucking gun skin. Would I recommend making that drink? Absolutely. If you've never had a French 75, it's a perfect introduction into like a boozier cocktail, but it still has those sweet and citrusy notes. So it's a perfect bridge between the boozy and the sour cocktails. This was fun. Let me know if you have any other skins that you think I should turn into a cocktail. Later.